we offer them enough money to make significant impacts on the things that matter to them.
A landmark decision in the House versus the NCAA. Today at 5, we have what the ruling means for college athletes.
Weather impact alerts in place for hot, windy conditions, creating critical fire danger for parts of the region.
It's not a luxury to be cool and comfortable in your home. It's a necessity.
Families in Spokane struggle with accessing air conditioning as SNAP benefits fall short. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Breaking news just into our newsroom. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says law enforcement may have tracked Travis Decker to Blewett Pass. The Sheriff's Office says a hiking party spotted a lone hiker who avoided them and a law enforcement helicopter. The Sheriff's Office is advising residents in that area to secure their homes and vehicles, stay alert, and report any suspicious activity to 911. Decker, of course, is accused of killing his 3 daughters. Multiple agencies are assisting the Sheriff's Office in that search, including the National Guard and the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. Again, Travis Decker charged with the murder of his 3 daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, whose bodies were recovered last week near Rock Island Campground outside of Leavenworth. If you know Decker's whereabouts, you are asked to call 911. There is a $20,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. All right, our other top story tonight is the forecast. We again have a KREM 2 weather impact alert as we are dealing with those hot temperatures once again. Let's get outside right now to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. And Jeremy, our forecast today even more pressing when it comes to fire danger.
Yeah, you know, yesterday was technically a little bit hotter, but today we have a little more wind. It's not only hot, it's not only dry, it is also windy in parts of the region. For that reason, we have weather impact alerts and red flag warnings in effect. You can see the anemometer spinning rapidly over Lake Coeur d'Alene. Anemometer, just what we use to measure wind speed and direction. 91 degrees where we sit. 91 does make it a record high temperature for us here in Spokane. And if you step outside, record or not, it is just a scorcher today. 91 in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Deer Park, and close to it down in Pullman and Moscow. Mid-90s out in central Washington. It is a hot day, but it's also windy. Our wind gusts up near 20 miles per hour are going to persist in town through about sunset tonight. Keep in mind, sunset is pretty close to 9 p.m. right now, so it is going to be windy for that time, and those red flag warnings for central Washington do run through about 9 p.m. Overnight, we do get a little reprieve. Temperatures fall to near 60 degrees. You fast forward to 24 hours from today, and we're back in the upper 80s or 90s, depending on where you are. It's upper 80s in eastern Washington and North Idaho, and it's all about the sunshine. 87 tomorrow, 81 on Thursday, back in the 70s on Friday, but even then, that's some 6 degrees above normal.
All right, sounds good. Jeremy will check back in with you later in the show. As upper temperatures rise, access to cool, clean indoor air becomes a matter of health and safety, especially in low-income homes. KREM 2's Christian Garza explaining now how SNAP's Cooling Fund is helping those in need, one AC unit at a time.
Yeah, well, the need is actually outweighing SNAP's ability to serve, which is a major problem for them right at this very moment. As temperatures across the inland Northwest continue to rise.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
SNAP offices in Spokane County are doing everything they can to bring some much-needed relief to people and families in need.
It's not a luxury to be cool and comfortable in your home. It's a necessity.
Carmen Groom, the energy manager for SNAP, says helping people in these different scenarios all comes down to the funding available. Groom says the Energy Assistance phone line opens monthly on every third Tuesday and sees hundreds of calls for people reaching out for help.
I can tell you right now on my referral list for any cooling relief at all, we have about 75 folks waiting just to hear back from us and start that process. And then we have another probably 80 folks who have already received a unit or have a unit on their way. Sometimes we'll deliver if we can.
So really quickly, I wanted to show you what sort of cooling resources are available, not just here at the Wistox Way office, but all SNAP offices across the county. Well, first we have these oscillating fans that you can just come into the office and ask for a fan, and they'll give you something like this to take home immediately. Then there's these AC units that you have to apply for. Now, both of these resources are only available while supplies last. Since the program started in 2023, SNAP has continuously increased the number of units it's able to give out to community members. The goal this year is to give out 200 AC units, which is nearly double the amount given out last year.
That's 200 households that have relief. We know there are thousands more people who need this help.
KREM says they prioritize senior citizens, people with disabilities, and families that have smaller children, but the office will make referrals for every caller while funds last. If you're unable to make an appointment with SNAP in June but still need to go somewhere to beat the heat, Aaron Hutt, the spokesperson for the city of Spokane, says there's an inclement weather plan in place that helps open up beds in local shelters when temps are over the 95-degree threshold.
This is just a better use of taxpayer dollars while getting the same result. And then the other thing is, people are always welcome to come to the park and seek shade under trees. We have different facilities that are open. The library during regular library hours are open for people to cool off.
The next opportunity to make an appointment through SNAP's Energy phone line is going to be June 17th at 8 a.m. Now, KREM says that people looking to make an appointment should call sooner rather than later because those appointments do fill up fast. In Spokane, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Christian, thank you very much. Breaking news tonight, less than an hour ago, Spokane County announced that prosecuting attorney Larry Haskell is retiring. Haskell was first elected in November of 2014. He was re-elected to a 4-year term in 2022. Haskell ran into controversy 3 years ago when he issued a formal apology about racist remarks his wife made online. Haskell's last day in office will be on July 18th. A new antitrust settlement from the NCAA and a few former athletes changes nearly everything about universities' relationships with their athletes and allows them to be paid directly from revenue sharing. KREM 2's Caitlin Galloway is live in the newsroom tonight to break it all down for us. Caitlin?
Well, that's right, Mark. The settlement requires the Power 4 conferences to share revenue with athletes and provide back pay for athletes who would have been eligible to benefit from NIL before it was permitted in 2021. All other conferences can choose to opt in or out, which puts the new Pac-12 in an interesting position. Based on statements from the Pac-12 commissioner and WSU athletic director Ann McCoy, the Pac-12 intends to opt in. $20.5 million is the most schools can give out, but non-Power 4 schools, including Wazoo and Gonzaga, aren't expected to reach that number. McCoy's statement reads in part, quote, Wazoo has been preparing for this moment and will operationalize a budget structure for each of our programs to put the scholarships, academic stipends, and NIL payments to use where they will be most impactful. Student athletes can still receive payments from a third-party NIL deals, but they'll now be regulated by a committee to ensure they are consistent with market value. Washington State's Cougar Collective says it doesn't change their strategy, and they'll continue to help prepare athletes for their futures.
Here's how much you have to save to pay your taxes. Here's how much you need to save in your IRA or your, retirement accounts. This is real life. And we've been able to, provide these student athletes with that kind of basically head start.
Programs are expected to follow the settlement's model for revenue distribution. 75% of funding to football, 15% to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, and the last 5% to all other sports. This gives schools like Gonzaga a unique advantage in not having a football program. Athletic Director Chris Standiford said in a statement, quote, Gonzaga Athletics remains committed to competing at the highest level. Central to our university's mission, we look forward to continuing to provide a transformative experience for our student athletes as they excel in the classroom, the community, and in competition. Schools will start paying athletes on July 1st. We'll have more information as schools continue to adapt to these policy changes. In the newsroom, Caitlin Galloway, KREM 2 News.
Thank you very much. We are just getting started on KREM 2 News at 5 tonight.
This was not an easy decision.
Big changes lie ahead for Latah County, and their jail will take you to Moscow coming up. But first, prosecutors are preparing for Brian Koberger's trial in August. After the break, we have what new court documents reveal.